Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then Halloween looks. I've been doing plenty, but a lot of them haven't really, maybe not beginner friendly. I mean, you could if you put your mind to it, but yeah, they're just not the most beginner friendly looks. So today I thought, you know what, I've seen a lot of people do this. So I originally saw Hannah Renee do this, like I think it might have even been like last Halloween. 3 like quick and easy looks, and then I've seen a few people do it this year. I'd already had planned to do it, so here we are doing it as well. 3 simpler looks for you for Halloween if you just need like a last minute face. That is what we are going to do in today's video. I look a bit strange because I have obviously got my base makeup on already, because I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet, but we'll see, because they are Halloween looks, so they're never really short and sweet. If you like the sound of that, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and yeah, if you want to see 3 quick, easy, last minute Halloween looks, then please keep on watching. Of course, it's a classic. I do it every year. It's the Pennywise. You literally can't go wrong with a Pennywise, and it's one of the simpler looks, let's just put it out there. It is sometimes still a little bit difficult. I've done it from, so I think this is my 3rd Halloween doing makeup. So I will pop up first year, 2nd year, and then this year. I've already done a Pennywise, but like from It, the film. This is obviously not going to be that. This is just like a glam Pennywise that we're going to do. We're going to start on the eyes. The eyes, you can sort of do what you want really. You don't even have to do the eyes if you don't want to. You could just do the, I don't know what they call it, like the smile red lines or whatever. But we are going to do some eyes in this little look. This palette, if you're wanting to get into Halloween looks, or like you are a makeup artist and you're looking for this palette, you need it. Like, I've used this I think this is the only palette really I've used. Honestly, it's so well loved. It is so good for Halloween looks. I recommend you getting this if you need a palette for that. Well, a colourful palette, always this one. I'm going to do a little red eye just because why not? So the reason I love this look as well is because once you know the technique of doing it, obviously red is the classic way to go, but as you've seen from my 2nd year, I added orange to it. This year, like, I'm going to add some diamonds to it. You can, depending on how, what's the word, like your level of makeup skills, if that makes sense, like how well you think you can do, you can make this a lot more difficult if you want, or you can just have it really simple. For the eyes, I'm gonna go in with a brown first. So I'm gonna go in with Hall, which is like this medium toned brown. This does have like a reddy undertone as well, so that's why it's quite nice, because it will blend into the red nicely, especially with Halloween looks, especially if you're jumping out of your comfort zone a little bit with the red. Do your eyes first. So now let's place. I'm just gonna buff the edges a little bit, just so that it seems like seamlessly goes into that next shade. Right, and then on my Sigma E42 brush, so it's like a really thin, like skinny blending brush, I'm gonna go in with Inferno in this palette, which is, wait, being all cack-handed, oh my god, which is the red in this palette. And I'm just going to use this red to buff out this brown, and then back in with that brown. I'm just going to reinforce that colour. The good thing I do find about Halloween looks is, obviously sometimes they do, but a lot of the time, sometimes it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy, or like it doesn't always have to be so precise. It just can be interpreted any way that you want really. Just gonna go in with like a plain brush just to really buff this into the skin, just because that's better. And then I'm gonna go back in with the brown, because I feel like we are losing it slightly. Lovely. So you can keep this all matte if you would like. I am obviously going to add a bit of a shimmer, just because I feel like it's Halloween, we're going to go all out. And I am going to, like I say, I'm going to add diamantes to the Pennywise, so I feel like we need all the glitter everywhere. I'm going to go in with Valentine, so it's like the pressed pigment, which is red in the palette. And I'm just going to, like I normally would, make sure you tap in, because I've got obviously makeup on. I'm just gonna do like a half cut crease. So my pigment, my loose pigment that I have been using a lot is Phoenix from Peaches and Cream, which is obviously a red pigment. But like I said, I just want to keep this quite soft and glam. Very simple eye. You could even just do this eye on Halloween. Like, sometimes I think if you're not feeling dressing up or doing like face paint on Halloween, even to just do your makeup a little bit more than you would normally, obviously using colours that you probably wouldn't normally use, that's always fun on Halloween. Right, and then I'm gonna, on my, this is rubbed off, but it's a Peaches, I always talk about this brush, it's a Peaches and Cream brush. It's just like a really mini pointed brush. And I'm gonna run Hull, which is the dark shade, underneath. Absolutely fuming because luckily I didn't do any of the makeup look, but I was just talking to you and camera cut out. So right, so then on a Morphe M562 brush, which is a nice fluffy brush, we're going in with that Inferno and just buffing out the underneath. Again, this can be a little bit more messy and blown out because we are going to be joining our lips to our eye, so it's like a whole process, so it doesn't really matter. Right, so I think I'm happy with the eye. I mean, Halloween looks are a whole lot of trust in the process, that is for sure. So I'm going to go off camera, I'm going to do the other eye just for speed, and right now I'm looking crazy, so let's go to the other eye and then we'll come back for the rest of the makeup. Okay, so other eye is done. I'm looking a lot less crazy. Now it is time for the smile and the lines. I don't know what it's called, but that part. As well, with Halloween looks, red and a black liner, so Morphe Dark Room is what I've used for pretty much all of it. And then just I've got, this is from MUA Cosmetics, your best friend during Halloween and all the Halloween looks. Like, for some reason I've just I keep going into these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my lips first, just like normal, lining my lips. Little overline, never killed no one. And then my other best friend that I've been loving is the Doll Beauty She's Well Red lipstick. This is stunning. If you follow me on Instagram and you've seen a red lip on there, this is what I'm using. I've literally used it for every look. The hardest part, I would say, with the Pennywise is just getting your lines symmetrical. So what I would recommend doing is getting like a, so again, this is another Morphe lip liner. It's in Bamboo. It's literally like a skin coloured liner. Draw things out and map things out, and obviously you can't see them, so if you want to do that first to obviously make your life easier, with the Pennywise you're literally taking it from the creases of your lips and it's meeting in the middle of your eye. So I normally like map both bits here, and then you want to like make your line, like joining them together. Obviously it's very like you can't you can see it sort of there, like look. But I'm just going to map out just to make my life easier when I then place it. Because one thing with Halloween looks, one, do not go in with a lot of product because it's very hard to change, especially because the colours are a lot harsher. So like when you're drawing with a black liner or a red liner, they're really hard to remove, and even if you do remove it, you probably will still, like, it will leave something there, if that makes sense. Like, it will turn your foundation a little bit pinky and whatever. That's why this is so good, because if I did make a mistake, I can wipe it off and you don't really see it. So same on the other side. I'm just gonna, it's always harder the other side. One, because one side of my face always goes better, this side of my face. Don't know why. Every Halloween look I've done, this side is better. You will notice all my pictures, I'm like this side. I think it's just, maybe I've got a nicer, this is my better side, maybe I've got a nicer side of face, but it's also harder to obviously match it to this. And then obviously this will then come out of my head like little horn sort of thing. So I'm just gonna follow it, like, see how you can see that, but like it's so easy to just correct. That's why I do recommend going in with it first, especially if you're a beginner. Right, so I've mapped it. That's what we're gonna leave it as for now. And I'm gonna, so for this today, I'm not actually gonna go in with a liner. I want to do like a shadow, because like I said, I am gonna put diamonds to it. You don't have to have the diamonds. I'm gonna do it up to the bit where it's like beginner friendly, and then I will show you how to apply diamonds, but obviously that is a different ball game, so you can just leave it at the normal standard Pennywise. So I'm gonna go back in. You ideally want to match it to your eyes, that way it's sort of all nice and together. So I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe M562 brush, and I'm going in with Inferno, which is the red shade in the Carnival palette. I'm just gonna follow that line like so all along, just buffing it, just taking your time. You don't want to have no mistake. But yeah, you can do this with a liner, you can do this with face paint. Completely up to you what you feel comfortable with and what sort of look that you want. But literally that simple. Just buffing it along that line. Where it is a shadow as well, it doesn't have to be perfect lines, but you can sort of see that, and it is that sort of buffed out, blown out vibe that we're going for, rather than a precise line. Sometimes when you go in with a precise line first time doing it, that actually makes your job a lot harder, because where it's precise, you need to make sure that your lines are symmetrical. I made that mistake first year, and it was a bit stressful. It was a bit stressful, I can't lie. So I'm actually going way away from where I placed that. Once I placed it down, obviously I've noticed that that placement was wrong, but it's still good to have that line, just so you know. But I've now followed it up. The best thing to correct, I would say, personally, what I've found is the P. Louise base. I feel like it's thicker than like foundation and stuff, so you want to make sure. So I'm literally just going to draw a line just like that. We obviously will buff it in like that's just tidied it up, because obviously as well you want to make sure it's the same thickness going up. You don't want to start getting really thick at the top and not at the bottom. And the good thing is, now you've done this, you can add to it, you can sort of see where you want to go with it, if you want to go in with a bit more or whatever. But you just want to make sure that you've got the initial bit down. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. This is again where it gets a little bit tricky, because you have to match it. Not bad for symmetricalness. Same with this side. I am going to tidy it up because I like how pointed that is, but we are just following it up and then dragging it. And you want to make them like go in towards each other. You want to as well make sure you're right getting it into your eyebrows with this bit, because it wants to look like it's obviously all connected. And we're just buffing out just to blend it all together. So really simple. That is the first little bit done. What I am going to do is I'm going to, with a straight liner brush, I'm going to go in with Hull, and I'm just going to buff this into the middle like of this, so it looks like the red has buffed it out, if that makes sense. So same, that's what we do with the eye sort of thing, but reverse, just so it's got a bit more depth to it. Gives you that structure. Love that. So like I said, you can do this with different colours. You could do this a lot bigger if you want. You don't have to have it as thin. You can make it more structured. But I would say, obviously, it's pretty much like the eyes. Do shadows if you want an easier beginning start. Like, that makes such a difference, just adding that little bit of brown in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure that my lips are blended, like blended into this, so it doesn't look too different. Where I've started the shadow, I'm just drawing the liner too and just blending it in. That way it looks like it's all connected. And then Pennywise, they have a little nose as well. So I've started doing my nose with a liner. Again, I find it so easy. So I just get on the centre of my nose and just like make circular motions. And each time I'm getting bigger and bigger like that. And then obviously we can tidy it up a little bit. This, I would say, beginner. If you're not good, well, not good, that's horrible to say. Not like that, but if you're not comfortable in doing anything more, this, I feel like, with a big pair of lashes, which I will show you at the end, obviously with lashes on, with a big pair of lashes, I feel like this is a good Halloween look. Just a nice plain outfit and you look Halloween, do you know what I mean? This is the natural structure of a Pennywise, which cute. I feel like Pennywise will never go wrong. But if you do want to set yourself a little bit more of a challenge, I am going to show you how to apply diamonds. I'm not going to bore you with the whole diamond. I'll show you obviously at the end with the diamonds on, but yeah, I'm not going to bore you with it all, but I will show you how I do apply them. With diamonds, it does just require a lot of patience and practice. Literally, I've got better the more I do them, but let me tell you, sometimes it just doesn't want to go to plan. So as well, I always just get I get most of my Halloween stuff just off of Amazon. Amazon has been my best friend for all these looks. These I found really good. So they come in like so many different colours. The only thing is it's a bit annoying because there's not as many on a thing, and they're all different shapes and sizes. So not shapes, different sizes I mean. So obviously if you're doing a long look, sometimes it's not enough. I'm going to mix the two to sort of get more out of it. I'm going to do red and like a brownie shade, depending on how long you want your look. Obviously, if you're going out like this, you want it for quite a while. So the sticky stuff that comes with these, like, because obviously they stick to a bit of plastic, isn't going to be enough probably to last you the whole night. So I will use just lash glue. This duo glue, obviously you know I love it so much for my lashes. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit on there. You're going to want yourself some tweezers. Start off at the top actually today. So I'm going to go with the smallest. Obviously you want to match the size of the diamond to the bit that you're going on. So we're not really going to use the big ones. It's going to be more the small ones anyway. With your tweezer, very carefully, you're going to dip it into the lash glue, let it dry for a couple of seconds, holding on to it, and then you're just gonna place it down there. Can you see that? And I'm gonna just press it on. Obviously I'm gonna keep changing because I want to mix the both, so then I'm going to go and do the same with a brown one. Don't stick it on straight away, that's what I would say, so then you can move it a little bit to get it lined up, and then you want to go and press it down. Can you see? And we're just going to keep going with them. I might just speed this up and you might see me have a meltdown during this, but that is what I'm going to do, just so you can see the process. But see, look, this is where it gets difficult. So again, I would recommend the tweezers that you're using, they have to be clean. Like, you do not want any leftover glue on there, because what I've found before will then get stuck to these. Like so. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom and do the same thing, but I'm going to start, obviously this bit's a little bit thicker, so I don't need to go in with the smaller ones first. I'm going to like do a little gradient. So this is why these are good as well, because I'm going to start with like this size this size, then go up, then go down. Do you know what I mean? The bigger ones are easier to work with, obviously, because you've got a bit more to grip onto. Obviously, so you want to move as little as possible. Where I've just stuck that by my mouth, I don't want to keep talking because it will just keep moving. Now that lash glue's there, honestly, it's a lifesaver, the lash glue. They do not budge. Right, that is one side done, all diamond. So just to save time, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to do the other eye, the other side of my face. All I would say is try to obviously, again, match like how big they are at the beginning, so then how small they get. Just try and match all of that. And then I'm going to stick on some lashes and I will be back. And we are done. So I've got all the diamonds on. I added some to my nose as well, just to give it an extra woo. I've also done my hair like this. I love this style hair, or like space buns for like clowny looks. I feel like it looks pretty cool. I'm actually really impressed with this. Sometimes the most simple looks pull it out of the bag, you know. So I'm actually super impressed with how this come out. Super easy, super quick as well. It didn't actually take me too long. So this is the first look. Nice, simple, Pennywise, can't go wrong. Plain black outfit and you're all good to go. Now I'm going to go on to the next look. So, and we're back. Another face of makeup, just obviously my base all done. So for this one, I've seen a few people do it and I was like, you know what, this is quite cute. A lot of people like just a cute makeup look. Again, very easy if you don't really know what to go as and you're just wearing like a black dress and you want to add a little bit of scariness to it. Rebecca Capel's done it and also Melissa Gray. So it's this like boo ghost sort of look, and then Rebecca's is like that on the cheeks. I'm gonna do the eye look anyway with you first. I have not done like a normal glam eye look in a very long time, so that is what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna be using again another Be Perfect palette. Saffron kindly gave me this that made no sense. Kindly gave this to me. She was gifted it. This is the Ellie Kelly Born Ready collab. So it's stunning. Me and Saffron were literally obsessing over the packaging for a good while. The reason Saffron gave it to me was because it broke, but I've managed to like stick it together, to be fair. It come a bit broken, so she was like, you can have this one. I was like, thanks. Amazing, but it's stunning. Obviously, if you've not got this palette though, it doesn't really matter. It is just like a neutral palette. So I'm gonna go in with Biscotti, which is this top shade. So I'm just gonna work this through my crease, but I'm using this as my transition, so I'm just blowing it all out. Pigmented, blended, like you literally, like, I'm done. Like I don't even need a lot of it. It is so good. You can do any eye look with this. That is the good thing about it. And then I'm gonna go in with Penny, which is this shade here. So it's another stunning brown color, just a bit more deeper. And I'm gonna use this, and I'm also gonna work this through my crease, but just like a little bit lower than that first shade. Just doing the exact same thing. Literally these shadows are just simple. Then I'm just gonna pack it on the outer corner. I'm then gonna obviously go in with a shimmer. I'm gonna go in with this shimmer at the bottom called Antique. It's like a bronzy, deep brown shimmer, and I'm just make sure there's nothing on there, and I'm just gonna place it. Oh, stunning. And then I'm gonna go back in with that darker shade just to blend them together. This is the quickest I've ever done an eye look on here, I think. Highly recommend this palette. And then with my Peaches brush, the one I said about earlier, going in with that Penny shade, which is the deep one, and I'm running this along my lash line. And then just on this Unicorn Cosmetics brush with Biscotti, the first shade, I'm just gonna buff that shade out. Really simple eye look. Obviously, like I said, you can do any eye look with this thing that we're doing on our face. That is that done. I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna do the other eye, and then I'll be back. The other eye is done. I've not put my lashes on yet, just we'll do it at the end, just because where I need to concentrate, lashes might be a bit annoying. So for the next bit, I'm gonna use white face paint. I bet some people use like a white eyeliner or whatever, but I'm just gonna go in with face paint just because it's a lot easier for me personally, but whatever works best for you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some face paint on my concealer brush, both sides, so that it's nice and flat. And I'm going to do it across my face. Right, change of concealer brush. I'm going to go in with my Peaches and Cream one, which is pretty much the same. I'm not gonna, well, I'm gonna add a little bit of face paint again on both sides, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm just gonna try and sort out the lines that have been made. So really you just want to do like this bit with the concealer brush. Sorry, can't get my words out. Concealer brush, so just so you've got like the head. Obviously this is going to be a big one, and then I'm going to get a normal paintbrush to do the bottom of it. So it is going to be a little bit fiddly that you're going to have to do two different, but once you get going it'll be right. So I've just got like a pointed paintbrush now, and I'm gonna pick up some of the white paint, and I'm just gonna join both sides together and just sort of do like a ghostly wriggle at the bottom. Obviously at this moment in time it's not gonna look one bit like a ghost, but it's all the other bits that will add to it to make it look more ghost-like. Having the right paintbrushes and stuff is not necessarily like a right brand or whatever, I just mean like the right size things. Sometimes I've used a brush that's way too big for what I need, if that makes sense. Just literally squiggle at the end and then making it look a bit more ghostly. I just want to tidy it up, so I'm literally going in with no extra product but just going around it, making sure that it's all nice and tidy. When I make obviously different sizes, I'm gonna go in with a different concealer brush. So this is a Doll Beauty DB14. This is a tiny concealer brush, which this will be good to do the heads of the littler ones. So same process, I'm gonna pick up the white paint on both sides just so that it's nice and flat and you've got it on both sides to flip. And I'm gonna do one up here, like a little one, just placing that down. There we go, we've got a little top of the head, and then back in with the other brush just to finish it off. Again, just making like a little wriggly line at the bottom, and we got another little ghost figure there. I'm gonna do a few more of the littler ones, so if you want to obviously do different sizes, I'll show you. So I'm gonna go in with the little concealer brush. I'm gonna do one like here in the center of these. I'm gonna place it, but then I'm just gonna like wriggle it to the side, just so you've got a little bit of a bigger one. So you just want to place and wriggle like so, and then same again. I'm gonna get this and do like a little squiggly line either side, just connecting them together and then filling in. And then I think I'm gonna add one over here, and then we can move on to the next side. Obviously you want to place all the white first so that it can dry before getting into the other like little detailing parts. Okay, so they are your little ghostly figures, and then I'm going to do the same with the other eyes. Like, they don't have to be exactly symmetrical on each side. I think it's quite nice sometimes when it's all like different, but like, without the eyes at the minute it don't look like ghosts one bit, but we're getting there. If you need to tidy anything up, again, same as before, I would always recommend just like using Pennywise base just to neaten it up. So now it's dried down as well, you can sort of see if you need to go over any bits that haven't picked up the paint as well. So I'm just gonna spray my paint again, and I'm gonna go in with the pointed brush, and I'm just gonna check that everywhere is sort of covered the same amount, but obviously being careful, like you don't want to ruin what you've already done. I think I'm going to go in with the small concealer brush for most of them. Obviously when it gets to the little ones it's a little bit more challenging, but basically I'm again just going to press the arms on, but the bigger the arm the more you leave the concealer brush on your actual skin. But most of the time I'm actually just going to press it so it's on the base that we've already put down, and then you just want to glide it in so that it joins. Again, looking very crazy, but once the eyes and everything's on it you will notice it a little bit better. But just so this one for instance, I'm literally going to do the tiniest little arms, but you're just joining it up onto the body. Get a little bit cat-handed when it gets to the ones that are a bit angled, but we're just gonna take our time. I went way too out for that one. I'm just gonna leave that for a second because I'm gonna have to get that off somehow. Oh god, I will. Right, this side is always the better side, so let's just appreciate that. I mean, this is realistic, so it doesn't always go to plan. I am gonna attempt to correct it with a clean concealer brush. I'm gonna take some of the Pennywise base. Oh, I'm scared, but this is realistic. This does happen sometimes. And I'm just gonna pat over it just to get rid of it, or even just like fade it a little bit so that when I go over it it's not the end of the world. And then you want to take like a powder brush, obviously where it is a powdered bit of your face, so You just go over it with the powder. It should. Right, and now we're gonna take some black paint, or you can use a black eyeliner, like a pencil if you want. I'm just gonna go in with paint just because I do have them out. We're gonna add like the eyes and the mouth. Let's make them look a bit more ghostly. So I've got, again, another really thin paintbrush, and like for the eyes, I'm literally just gonna dot, like I'm not moving, just like that. Like we're not moving at all. So you want to line them up so they're symmetrical. We have eyes, and then I'm gonna do like a little face. So again, I'm just tapping a little bit at a time, like in oval motions, and you can sort of add to it as you go. Cute, we've got a little ghost. You don't want a lot on your paintbrush as well, so like I'm literally tapping, making sure it's not gonna like drip or whatever. The sides are always the hardest to do because you like got to proper turn your head and like look to the side. Sorry if my filming's not that good. Like so. I'm gonna do the other side. Do a bit of a bigger mouth, obviously, where it's a bit of a bigger one. Da-da. Right, then same sort of thing. We're going to just double check all over them. If you want to make them a little bit bigger, place it and then just like drag it out, if that makes sense. You just want to be careful because you don't want to mess it up now, especially with black paint. And then to sort of get the effect of it, you know, like the end of this looking all like twisted like a ghost, I'm gonna go with my Be Perfect Clientele, because these shades, like the cloud shade and shady shade, obviously shady, hint the name, it's really good for shading. Right, so my favourite brush to do some shading with is the Morphe M326 brush. It's just a really tiny brush, so I'm gonna go in with the shade Shady, which is a little bit darker, and I'm gonna really close. Obviously you want to be careful, but you are gonna go close to the outline of your ghost, and slowly you're just gonna do a little bit of shading, just really softly, and you'll find that this will make it stand out more. Because at the moment, if you was just to leave it as it was, it would, I mean, it would look like ghost on your face, but it wouldn't all come together. Like, can you see? It sort of looks like it's coming out of my face now a little bit. But again, just little at a time. Not really moving the brush a lot, just wriggling. And you don't want it to be harsh. Like, you want it to sort of buff into the skin. Good thing about this as well, like the mistakes that we made, you're sort of covering them up when you're doing this. Just sort of gives you that 3D effect of it coming to life a little bit. And then I'm also gonna do some little lines on the actual paint, just to again give it like a 3D effect. No actual really preciseness to this, just wherever you feel you want to. I'm using the black this time, just so it's a little bit more stand out. So this is what we're working with at the moment. Very cute. Just to make it a little bit more pretty, I'm gonna take the white paint and just do a few little dots, like covering any of the little gaps, just to tie it together. That is why I do love Halloween, because you can make it your own. You don't really have to always like make sense, and that's what I was saying earlier, like with it being messy and stuff. Like, Halloween, get as creative as you want and no one can really say anything, which is what I like. So that is literally it. I'm going to add some lips. Right, I'm going to quickly go off camera, I'm going to put some lashes on, and then I will be back. I'm going to sort my hair out as well. And that look is complete. I've actually started to really enjoy this look. Inside I was a bit like, oh no, what's going on, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I really like it. I think it looks really cute. I went for really natural sort of fluffy lashes as well. Like, it's a glam cute little look, but you're still Halloween. I've just chucked my hair up. We are complete. This is another look done. Next look, I'm actually recreating a skull look that I done when I first started. It's going to be like half a skull, which I'm really intrigued to see how much better it is than the first time I done it. So you're going to see me again in a minute. Hi guys, I look even crazier right now than I have the rest of the video. It's a new day, we've got different hair, but we are back with the last look. Third and final look. Yeah, I can't actually find my one that I done. I've got a client picture, so I'll pop that up to be like what I compare it to. But I am just going to use like one off Pinterest. So I'm going to do something like this. This is obviously Jamie Genevieve. This is ages ago though. Obviously that is why I've done one side of my face already. I've just literally put that first shade that we used in the last look from the Ellie Kelly palette, the biscotti one, just through my eye. That's all I'm going to do on that side. I'm going to keep this really plain because obviously this side is going to be a lot. I am just going to get a makeup wipe and wipe down like the straight line, because obviously I don't want to put the white on over the makeup, because obviously then it will go a weird colour. Obviously I tried not to get on that side of my face, but a little bit would have gone over. This look as well, it's again really easy because it's literally just black and white. So obviously we're going to go in with my white paint straight away. Right, and then I'm going to take like a big paintbrush, which is just like flat, because I'm going to use this to draw that line so you can see straight away where I'm going with this. Where it's a nice and like square, like straight brush, it's really good to get them straight lines. I'm just gonna keep going in like one stroke, that way you get like the most straight line, and then obviously you can go back and correct it. But can you see here how it didn't pick up as well? You can go back like so, and then I'm just gonna obviously, like I say, I'm gonna then go over it just to get it so it's more white, because not everywhere as well. Then I'm going to take one of these big sponges just for like speed. I just find it easier to then paint the whole of my face with one of these. And then any bits that you feel that you need to, you can do with a paintbrush, but for the bulk of the face it is just easier. Patting this all on. This is good as well because it does sort of give it that even spread. With a paintbrush you sometimes get all the lines and stuff, and like look how quick that was. This skeleton is actually really easy. The tip for this is all like the shading and stuff. That's what's going to make it look better, do you know what I mean? Like the actual skeleton part's not that bad. You don't need to like obviously round the eye, that will be black, so we don't need to go round that. But ta-da, that is half the face done. I'm going to go in with like a really skinny paintbrush with the black paint, and I'm just going to do the eye first. I feel like that's a good place to start. So I'm starting by my eyebrow, and essentially it's just like a big circle around the eye. But again, just taking your time. So just bring it round. I'm going to bring it round my eyebrow as well with the paint. I'm going to colour in my brow. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, it's more like a square sort of shape. So I'm just literally going to fill this in now, covering all underneath, literally getting all up to my eye. I want it to be like completely blacked out on the top of my lid. Obviously just being careful, you don't want it to go in your eyes. Like so. The nose, which again is quite simple. I'm going to go with the same brush. I'm probably going to use this brush for most of the look, and I'm going to do the circle around my nose. I'm going to bring it up so it's like a point. Yeah, so you got one point, and then basically obviously the nose is going to go up to the half of the white that you've done. So I'm going to just draw a line up against that white. Same thing, I want to do like a point. So I'm going to like make it go thinner, and then you basically just want to join them. And then the same sort of thing, just filling it in. Just making sure you obviously keep them straight lines, because this is that half of the face. And with your nose you want to make sure you're getting everywhere. You might need to go over it a couple of times with this because where you've got the white underneath it. So that's another thing. So it's already coming together, and then you've just got the mouth and then the shading sort of side of it. So next we're going to do the mouth. Now the mouth is probably the trickiest part, and as well it is just following your structure. Obviously remember, this is a skeleton, which we all have underneath. So I'm going to start as like you're doing your contour really. I'm going to start here, and this bit is going to be like the darkest bit. I'm just going to draw a line like that, and then filling it in. And then basically what I'm going to do is draw 2 lines that are going to be where the teeth are going to sit. But it's going to be like, I don't know how to explain it. It will connect from here to here. And then the same on the top, like so. And then I'm just going to tidy it up. Once you've got the initial first lines, you can then make it thicker and all like that. And then basically, obviously as well, connecting it from your lips. So again, you're going to have the straight line, literally the crease of your lips, but I'm just going to fill in the centre of your lip, and then you're going to drag it out, a bit like the Pennywise. So from the corner of your eye, going to drag it out to like the middle of there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually now going to take some eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in with the Clientele palette, because like I said, this is the best palette for like shading and stuff. So we're trying to do like the shading area bit now. So I'm going to place some black paint like here, just like this. And then with my Morphe M441 brush, and I'm going to dip into the black in Clientele. I'm then just going to really lightly just dust down to create that shade, and like you want to blend it in. You don't want to obviously bring it all the way down, but you sort of want to bring it so that it starts to like blend into the teeth. And then on my Sigma E27 brush, I'm going to go in with Shady in the Clientele, and I'm going to carry on shading, but obviously where I'm going into the grey as well, just creating that blend on your face as well with the skeleton. Just really lightly, try it room, but obviously keeping in the edges. Right, so I'm going to leave it like this for now. I'm going to do the teeth at the end, just because obviously where I'm talking and stuff, the mouth situation, a bit of a nightmare. So that's that. And then basically all it is left to do is to carry on, like obviously I'm going to go around it, shade some areas and make it come to life a little bit more. So I'm going back in with the black paint, and I'm going to draw from the centre, like half the face, and I'm going to draw around. So I'm going to actually draw around the whole of the face, just a light line, just so it stands out a little bit, obviously connecting it to the mouth bit that we started, around the chin, creating that jawline. Any bits of white we can sort of like tidy up at the end, but I do just want to go over with a black line just so it stands out a bit. So again, just done the little outline, and then it's just a case of adding sort of what you want really to make it look more skeleton. So I'm actually gonna, starting from my mouth, I'm gonna make this line a little bit thicker like so, and then fill that in. You just want to, as well though, obviously, like a face is, I talk about this when I do a normal face of makeup, when you're doing like the skeleton, you want to make sure like it all joins and looks like it flows, you know what I mean? You don't want it to be like one thing. So it's coming together. I'm then gonna, so going from this eye, gonna do like little lines, like it's sort of cracking sort of thing. Still using the same brush, but like really light-handedly, like so. Also gonna like draw a curve around there. So see, it's like the little details that you add at the end that make it look a little bit more like come to life. And I'm gonna do the same on this side. I'm also gonna do it so like where this is, I'm gonna bring it over so it looks like it's coming from here as well. So that's everything I'd say with the paint, apart from the teeth. Let's do some shading. So actually, we will need the paint. So I'm gonna just colour in again a little bit like this, but I'm gonna just go in with the grey for this bit. I'm not gonna go in with any more black, and then I'm just gonna spread it out like so. Again, a really light hand. You don't want it to be harsh, so you want to keep blending it until it's completely shaded. And you want to do this shading like in the bits that by like the dark black lines, you then want to shade obviously with the grey, just so it looks like there's some depth. Gonna just put a bit like around the eye, so really lightly I'm just gonna shade here in like the little creases here. So just anywhere you think that you would want to add it, just to give it some more depth. So that is what we are working with. I'm obsessed. This is definitely better than my first one. Obviously we've still got to do the teeth, so that is also like, that's literally going to change it completely. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading around the teeth area. Obviously I've not put the teeth yet there yet. Basically I feel happy with where I have shaded everything. It's just really up until when you feel like you've done enough, and obviously we've still not even added the teeth, which I'm gonna do now. So the teeth, I'll be straight up with you, I find them difficult. I still find them not the most fun to do, but it's completely up to you what teeth you do. If you struggle and you just want to do like the lines that you've seen, so say that we've done this line across here, you can just do the lines, or what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the actual curved teeth. We've done the first line, and then basically essentially it's just like a half a semicircle like that, but obviously you want to match it to the top one as well. So yeah, it's just like half a semicircle, and then obviously the next one, so with the top one, you start it at the same line, and then it's like another half semicircle like that, and you're just going to carry it all along, and then obviously the shade and that will make it better. Obviously I can't talk during this, so I'm going to just do it and then speed it up. So that is what we are working with. Loving it. I'm then going to go back in with the grey. I just want to like shade this in a little bit, just where the two lines are. Add a little bit, but not too much, and then it just sort of fades into the bit that we already shaded. So the end-ons don't really matter because it just sort of gradually fades back. What I'm going to do as well though is I'm going to go back in with the white for the teeth. I'm going to reuse that concealer brush that we used yesterday for the ghost because it's nice and small, and I'm just going to go in between the black, being so careful because you don't want to like ruin the lines or whatever, but I want the white to stand out a bit more again. So just really slowly, obviously again I won't be able to talk, I'm gonna go back in and just reinforce this white. I feel like I'm actually done. I want to keep it really classic, like a classic easy skull, but like literally effective, well effective. Let me take my hair down so you can sort of see. Last thing I'm going to do is just get the Morphe eyeliner in Dark Room, and I'm just going to do the waterline obviously just to even further black this out. Honestly, that just makes such a difference, like the slightest thing. Obviously now it's completely blacked out. Look, I love it. But yeah, I'm going to go off, put the other, and I'm going to sort my lip out on this side, everything, come back, and then I'll say bye to you because this is the third and final look. There we have it. We are all done. I've added a lash this side, on my other side of my lip. I love this. Like, I think a lot of people actually would rather go out like this on Halloween than some of the other crazy looks that I do, just because obviously you do look Halloween but it's still glam. You've still got half a face which is like normal, so you don't feel like you're too much, if that makes sense. But obviously it is really simple and easy to do yourself, and I definitely think I improved from my first attempt at this a couple of years ago. But yeah, they are all my quick easy, last minute Halloween ideas. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this helped. I'm super impressed with all 3 of these. If you want to see the pictures and all my other Halloween looks that I have been doing, make sure you're following me over on Instagram, because 31 Days of Halloween is coming to an end. I've done so many looks. Well, I've literally done 31 Halloween looks. I've loved it all. But yeah, if you want to see the rest of them, go follow me over there. Before you leave, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.